Hello and welcome to a new episode of Corey and Kevin Talk About Nothing. If you're tuning in for the first time,
I'm Corey.
And I'm Kevin. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about...
Nothing.
All right.
yeah, sorry.
Didn't know if there was a topic, you know. I came unprepared, so I'm ready to dish on whatever. I did watch a movie.
We got it. Me too.
And
I did as well.
A really good movie, and I really enjoyed it, so...
All right. So before we get started in that, though, let's make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you want to get notifications when we drop new content. If you have any ideas, anything along, any story, anything that you want to share with us, just tell us about anything. You can email us at cktalkaboutnothing@gmail.com. You can tweet us at CoreyKevin1. Tweet. So, and then make sure you use that special hashtag as well on there. Embrace the nothing.
Yeah, and you kind of have to whisper it to yourself. I think that's...
It's like the best way to say it. So
kind of like the void, the void is telling you. It's coming, it's like whispering in your ear, and you're like, where does that come from? It's like, you're not going to be able to trace that. Anyways.
No. So might as well tweet it.
Getting ready for some World of Warcraft, all right?
Getting into that other mindset right now.
Oh yeah, I was like watching videos all day today. I'm like, all right, let's get pumped, let's get excited.
That's funny. It's funny that all this drops and you just got the PS5 as well.
I know. That's why I was really excited that they actually delayed the release, so that way I could get some PS5 time in. Experience the games, play the games, and then kick over to WoW. Because what's perfect is a couple nights, Jessica's using the nice TV to watch her shows, and I'm like, well, I could totally be playing some World of Warcraft, so that way I'm not interrupting her. So it's like a perfect perfect time.
Yep.
It's just gaming. No matter what, though.
Yes, exactly. That's
you're
always
not on you're not on that TV? Oh, okay. Well, then we're watching Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm about 83% done, and I have almost all the suits now, and it is so much fun, man. I'm still having like a blast, just like fighting.
As I said, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a really good game.
Did you download the old one from the PS4 yet?
No, not yet.
No?
I was going to beat this game,
and then do that.
And and then see if there's any deals coming up and whatnot.
Okay. Speaking of deals too, so I was jealous of everybody else owning Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So I think after this podcast, I'm gonna make the decision to do it. I saw it on there today, and I'm like, I'm gonna think about it. But I've been thinking about it ever since.
Is it discounted?
It's discounted, yeah.
How much?
I think, what was it when you bought it?
It was like $20 or something, or no, maybe it was like $40. Yeah, it was like 20 per title or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think right now I can get both for I think it was $29.99,
which
is okay. I mean, $10 off.
Hey, $10
what I'm saying?
off,
But still, like you said, it's 2 games for $15.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So it's like, all right, you know what I mean. I can hang with that, and I love the game. It's never I didn't want to download it, but I'm just like I can't see me playing another game, having time for another game like that. But really, it's not. I mean, after I thought about it, man, it's really not another game like that. It's just, you know what I mean? It's a game I can play when I want to. So
yeah, and it's really kind of fun too. Just like free skate, you know what I mean? Like, there's challenges and there's all sorts of things to do, but I mean, there's also a lot of fun you could just have on like some of the courses where you could just rack up points and do the specials and just have a blast. I wound up putting on the PlayStation. I downloaded it on the PlayStation 5 because it's backwards compatible, but I haven't played it on there yet.
Gotcha. There's nothing that like me and you couldn't play online together, could we? There's nothing like that in the game, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Gotcha. So I knew did you ever play Skate at all?
No. Actually, I never played that one.
Oh, okay. So skate was a lot of fun because you could actually like challenge like other people, like other skaters too, like go online and like the big maps where you like drop in, you know, and then you go off and you like jump up. So like me,
that's cool.
you know, and other, you know, whoever else on the game, as long as I think I obviously was not, you know, cross play or anything, but you know, I mean, whoever, and we could all meet up on this hill and then skate down and do competitions from there. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but Skate was not Tony Hawk. Skate was almost Tony Hawk is realistic, but not at the same time, right? You know what I mean? There's some things that you do on that game that's just when you can hold that square button down and you're doing quad flips. You know what I mean? Just
you know, you're just repeating like the big tricks too, and you're just like
for sure. Yeah, no way.
You landed that first one and your mind was blown, so you stopped skating. That's reality.
For 100%. Absolutely. That your board went flying off the next ramp as you're on your knees celebrating. You know what I mean? Right. That's what you're doing. And yeah. Whoa. And then but like Skate was more like a realistic thing. You can still do some of the holy, you know, like that that was a wild trick.
Oh yeah.
But like you just did combos. Like a wild trick though. Exactly. Like that was it though. Like you just skated, you did like a sweet grind and then another one and then you fell off like that, and then outside of that was about like that was Skate. You know what I mean? It was just a very realistic more game, and I think at first it was too much because it's harder to play a slowed down any sort of more realistic game, even like any sports game. The more realistic they get, the timing has to be perfect. So that was the same thing as Skate. You know, you do a crossover. Yeah. Old games, I'd be able to double tap the crossover button, and he's going every time I hit the button, he's crossing over. You know, he's going all across.
Like very forgiving, you know.
Yes,
you're like to the right of a rail, but you hit the button. It's like it just puts you right on the rail, you know.
Yeah. So you know, there's things, you know.
Yeah, I ran into a really funny issue, which I guess I should have saw coming, especially because like I've talked about the differences before, but I just didn't really think about it. So over the weekend, my PlayStation 5 ran out of disk space, or hard drive space. And when I looked, it was because, you know, Call of Duty was like 100, almost 130 gigs, right? Battlefield is 104, 110 gigs, and then Battlefield 5 was another 100 or so. And I'm like, all right, first off, I'll just hook the PlayStation 4 up if I need to play these. It's not a big deal. So I left Battlefield 5 on there.
Okay, so
I took Battlefield 1 off because I'm like, I haven't played that. I took Call of Duty off because it is just ridiculously large for no reason.
Well, essentially now there's 3 games on it. They put Cold War, regular Modern Warfare, and Warzone.
Well, see, here's the difference, right? So if I go into my game library in the storage, Spider-Man, which is a beautifully pretty complex looking game, is like 40 gigs.
Huh.
That's a huge difference. Right. So, well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like the PS5, like the games are able to be condensed pretty far down. Or these PlayStation 4 games were kind of unhinged, man. So I wound up uninstalling a bunch because, you know, basically if you were to take your storage, you should be able to get about like 10 to 15 PS5 games installed locally on your machine. Okay. That's the difference between PlayStation 4 because, I mean, even with our 2 terabyte drives, we're like, guys, I'm running out of space.
Seriously, yeah.
Call of Duty, Call of Duty, and one other game. You're like, okay, I guess that's what I got.
That's filled up. Yeah.
But it's nice, like, you know, that was like a big concern. I'm like, are you kidding me? My hard drive filled up already? And then, you know, as soon as I realized, I'm like, well, of course it did. I have these huge games on there that really, they're built for a PS4. And they're not built. I mean, sure, you could play them on your PS5, but ultimately, you know, it's not taking advantage of the hardware. So I wound up just uninstalling them because I'm thinking, you know what, I could do is actually take the Xbox One away because the PlayStation 5 plays 4K Blu-rays, so I no longer need that Xbox there. Even though, you know, I don't buy them anyways, it's just in case, you know.
Yeah.
But then I'll replace that with the PS4, and then that way, if I ever want to play those games, I could just swap over there.
Yeah, you have 2 anyways, don't you?
Yeah. 2
PS4 jacks. And you still keep your one downstairs for that, and then just put the other one up there. That's smart.
Yep. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Save the space on on the PS5 or PS5 games. You know, I just thought it blew my mind. I'm like, Spider-Man 40 gigs and you have Battlefield 110 gigs. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Now
Wow,
I understand like there's multiplayer online. Like I'm sure like a ton of different things compared to games, but I'm like, well, Spider-Man, you're also flinging. I mean, you see the size of the city that you're swinging through. It's huge.
No.
It's huge.
Yeah. That is true.
But yeah, so
and everything is live. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about. Like, I mean, the difference because but I guess I wonder if it's the server because you can't play with people online on Spider-Man though, right? I think that changes the dynamic of like the storage space or something too. I swear.
Well, yeah, like having like two different types, but you're talking like 60 to 70 gigs more. You know what I mean, for like those other modules. Like that's insane. So I'm sure like if I were to get the like I wonder what the PS5 version of Cold War is when you install that. Because if it's huge again, then shame on Call of Duty because like you're basically forcing people to choose Call of Duty over having, like other games and whatnot. It's kind of like a real
actually you're probably going to lose
monopoly.
Yeah, they're probably going to lose stuff too. I mean, if you really think about that, it's actually really smart because if I have to make the decision of downloading 3 of other games and then Call of Duty, I mean, or one in Call of Duty, right. I'm probably going to choose those other 3. You know what I mean? Because Call of Duty has Zombies, Warzone, and the Cold War. Mm-hmm. So that's on like the new one. Well, like on Cold War's game, that's what's all in there for it.
Right.
So it's the same thing. So they just updated Warzone. So Warzone's the same. So I can essentially you can delete.
Yeah, you're just like gonna have an upgraded version. Like everything's like the details are gonna look the same. Just like I'm assuming if I played PS5 Fortnite, I'd still be able to play with you and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
It's funny. That's actually a complaint going on right now.
It's a complaint
saying that PS5 and the new Xbox are cheating because their ping and things are so much faster, rendering so much better to where they can see people before other people see them.
I believe it.
It's hilarious. Well, so at first I'm like, that's no way. You know what I mean? But if you really think about the rendering thing, I mean, I was in a battle the other day, man, and going down through a box, all I did is edit down through a box. Somehow he edited through this other wall, edited through my cone that's in there, and killed me before I landed. How does that happen?
I wonder if the PS5 version of Fortnite runs in 60 frames per second. Also with 4K, you'd have like an increased pixel range, so you'd be able to see further details, all that kind of stuff. So definitely, I would say it's definitely possible. But I mean, it's almost the same as if I were to play you on PC. Somebody could have like a $5,000 video card in there that's cranking 60 frames per second and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's
definitely true.
It would be even more frames per second. It would be like 120 frames per second. And then you got like a 240 hertz refresh rate monitor, and you're like, wow, look how advanced my computer is. And you're like, oh, and all I do is play Fortnite. You're not saying it's like, I mean, I'm not saying like the graphics aren't great on the game, but I mean, they're not like the most astounding graphics you've ever seen before. You know what I mean? They're cartoony.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%.
Just funny. Like it's like the same thing as me having a sweet gaming machine. And what game do you play? World of Warcraft.
That's fun. But when you're raiding and stuff, though, that stuff is important for you, though.
Yeah, that is true. No. I mean, raiding, you got, a decent amount of people performing effects all over the screen. It tends to lag out in some of the better machines,
So it's kind of crazy. So I'm just gonna break this. I'm gonna break this into you. So I've been shopping for something new, right? Mm-hmm. For laptop and stuff. So I've been looking and stuff. I haven't done anything. I haven't purchased anything yet because obviously, we had an agreement that we were going to make things are good. But since I have been getting a little bit tired of my so-called games, that's the reason why that's why I want to download Tony Hawk. But I was thinking about giving World of Warcraft a little shot or two if my computer can run it. that's what I have to like. So that's why I'm trying to, in the back of my mind, want to put that out there because I'm kind of tired of like all the other games. Like I played games for the other night for like 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of Fortnite. This is boring. Went to my other game list and said, nah, I'm turning on Netflix.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I did. That's what I did. So, so I'm like, wow, okay, well, this was not that exhilarating. You know what I mean? So that sucks. Then I come over here and I can't even do anything on the computer because we're having issues. I'm having issues on this one too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, you're not going to get very far like gaming on that thing anyway.
No, exactly.
Like, Minesweeper? Yeah. All right. Solitaire?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
3D chess? Like your computer shuts down.
It's still
like, no.
yeah, for sure.
That's too much, sir.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I mean, obviously the world of Azeroth is always looking for recruits.
Yes,
there's only one faction, obviously.
I mean,
the other one is
so
that's indisputable. I'll hear nothing further on the situation.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking about there's like a certain thing that I really.
If you were Alliance, like if you were to be, I'm on World of Warcraft, but I joined Alliance, I'm like, sweet. Don't hit me up ever. If you're playing the game, tell me where you're at. That's all.
You're gonna come kill me?
Yeah,
that's
I'll
it.
Kill you.
You and the horde's gonna come get me?
I'll just do it myself.
It's funny. I just build my character up and then we both just battle up.
And win Alliance. Not sure, like if he understands what this is.
That's so.
That's
so.
No,
fun.
yeah. So obviously, the day that we're recording this is the release day of World of Warcraft Shadowlands. So it's kind of an exciting time just because everything is brand new. Expansions last about 2 years. You get big patches about every 6 months. Raids are coming in January, I think. So I did a lot of endgame in Battle for Azeroth, and that's ultimately like what I've always loved about World of Warcraft. The dailies, I'm not much of a person for repetition, routine. So like
same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, so like hopping on and doing my dailies is like, okay, let's just make it a goal and do it for as many days as we can, and then you just like, yeah, I can't do dailies anymore. I have to do something else. But then obviously that's the beauty of World of Warcraft. There are so many other things to do. But another exciting thing is that I've wanted to test out. So if you were to join, I have like new characters that are ready to level up.
Be unleashed.
Gotcha. There's a whole new like leveling process. They've changed the cap from the level cap from 120 down to 60. So
60?
We're starting at 50 and working our way up to 60. So it's kind of new and exciting. All of this is happening, and you're like, whoa! And then I don't know. It's pretty exciting. So yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. We're always looking for new recruits. I don't play with many people. Actually, most of the time, none. So, but yeah.
Getting another run mate, bro. That's the only thing that worries me, though. It's going to end up turning into me getting a laptop, a new game mouse, of this, of that, and then I'm playing it for 6 hours, 6 days a week for 6 hours a night, every single night. Because I'll get addicted to
it. It's like a money saver because, you're like, oh, well, I'm spending, almost $15 a month. And you're like, oh, I'm spending money. It's like, yeah, but when you're playing the game, you're not spending money. When you're forgetting to eat because you've been just playing for so long, you're saving money. When you pass out from dehydrate, no, I'm just kidding. You're saving oxygen. You're saving electricity. The end game, that's where it's at. So, you can level up, you can do all sorts of different things, but a lot of the fun I have is doing the raids. I just love, even I do the pickup groups. They're called pugs. You just enter in a LFR, looking for raid, and you enter in a lobby and you try to join. And if you get accepted, you're with a bunch of strangers, and you have your goals. You know, you have your raid to do. So everybody tries to work as a team as best they can. Obviously, you have your a-holes, but what game is void of those? You know,
none, zero.
Exactly, they're everywhere. But yeah, you getting gear and running mythic raid or mythic dungeons and just trying. I mean, I'm a solo player for the most part, so everything I have to do is, you know, I either have to find the group, or do it through the LFR system, and you could get so far. You got to do a lot of work and whatnot, but it's fun, man. It is so much fun.
I mean, it's on the list, so I mean, don't think it's not. That's why I had to bring it up. But I'm not saying for sure, but I'm just assuming with the new system I'm going to get, it's going to be capable.
Oh yeah,
of doing
that's
why I'm like,
if you were to get a laptop with a graphics card at this point, more than likely it's going to run World of Warcraft just fine. Yeah, if I had the camera on this wall, you know, you got the Horde symbol right there. You got my World of Warcraft, which Jessica got me for Christmas one year, and she went online. She knew my character's name. She actually, used her brother to ask me questions about WoW. I think, asking like he's thinking about joining. So I, got me to reveal here's my server, here's my name, like all this stuff. And she was able to find it. And there's a cool, I don't know if it still exists, but it was a really cool service where you could get a picture of your actual character, current armor, everything.
oh.
And, so she got that, framed it for me and everything. I think the level is like, congrats on hitting level 90 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, it might have been 85 or 90, but yeah, it's like, oh, the years ago, I mean,
well, now you'll be working back to it though, really.
Jessica is one of the most amazing people in the entire world because, I mean, for so many reasons, but when we were first starting to date, Wrath of the Lich King was actually on its way out, and a new expansion was coming out. I think it was Cataclysm. And you were running out of time to kill the Lich King and earn this title, Kingslayer. And I'm like, oh, I've got to have that. See, now the Lich King, that was a tough boss, man. That was tough. So what would happen is, if everything went right,
yeah,
the Lich King would actually kill everybody in the group. Now, if you hit Release Spirit, you're done. If you stayed, you actually get resurrected in the fight, and the fight continues on. But if you hit Release Spirit, you don't get it. So it would trick you. So like the first time you're doing it, you're like, are you kidding me? And then, well, anyways, once you learn that trick, you definitely don't hit Release Spirit. You wait to, but it was one of the coolest moments. And Jessica sat there with me, and attempt after attempt after attempt, finally killing the Lich King. So she got to see me kill the Lich King, earn that Kingslayer title.
Awesome. Yep, for sure.
It was pretty damn cool.
That is pretty damn cool. Well, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I obviously love the game. So.
The story, exactly. I enjoy the story. You're getting me more pumped. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you're getting me a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, is this thing over yet? Because I gotta. Actually, at this time, I tried before we even started recording, and
no,
can't even
get in right now. Right?
Can't even get on right now, which is fine. Global release, it's understandable.
For sure.
I've got, I'm really excited because Thanksgiving's this week, and we took off, Wednesday. So tomorrow is our Friday, and we got a nice week off. Very excited.
So
total of 5 days off. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say because that's sweet because that's even Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah, so we're off. Because
we're closing early Wednesday, but I got to work Friday and Saturday still.
Yeah, I mean that's Black Friday, so it makes sense. Small business Saturday, so yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Which good old public service announcement. If you can shop local, you should.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Small
I think that's
Business
huge.
Saturday.
Absolutely.
Look out for your local small businesses.
Yes, please do. Yeah, that would be absolutely
Ding,
very, very
ding,
much
ding.
appreciated.
Like I want to make sure we add a little PSA announcement. Dirt, dirt. You know, I guess I shouldn't do that because like we're gonna add one. But anyways, World of Warcraft. It's awesome. You should make the conscious decision to just quit your life, move on into the World of Warcraft. I've got some gold. I've got some bags. I got the hookup. So,
all right, I'll come find you.
I'm
All right.
easily found in the World of Warcraft.
Yes. For sure.
If anybody else plays, hit us up. Tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us what server. I'm on Bleeding Hollow. But I won't tell you my names, you stalkers.
Yeah.
There was one time, we actually had a pretty big guild. It was really nice. We did raids and did all sorts of stuff, and we actually moved servers. So we were on Lightning's Blade, and then back when Cataclysm came out, we actually made the switch to Bleeding Hollow so we could merge with another guild, and which lasted a little while, but it kind of fizzled out. But this person, they were in our guild in Lightning's Blade. It was a person we didn't actually know in real life, but they were in our guild, and they were very helpful if we ever needed them. They came in the dungeons or raids, whatever. Very cool. But almost like the person that you sign on, and within the second you've signed on, they've messaged you, "Hey," and you're like, "Oh wow, okay." Were you waiting for me to hop on?
Yeah,
kind of freaking me out. And so when we were like trying to like almost sever that relationship when we move servers. We're like, "Hey, this is almost like we won't even say anything. We'll just move." And I kid you not, we moved servers, and it was like a day or two later. It was like, "Hey, why didn't you tell me you guys moved?" It was like a new character on our server, and I was like, I think we might have a stalker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a scary situation.
I got nervous.
Yeah. I mean, if he does all the right research, he can probably find you.
Whoa, okay, settle down, man. Anyways, they didn't have the processing power back then. Couldn't have done it back then. Years ago.
Still be stalking you now.
Maybe. That would be such a cool turn of events. I wouldn't even be mad. If I hopped on WoW tonight and they were like, "Hey," I'd be like, I'm a little weirded out because you're probably listening to this podcast and we record, we don't go live. I'm going to be a little weirded out. But anyways, do it. Do it. If you're on Bleeding Hollow, check. Look for a sweet guild called Straight Outta Sunjin. Pretty awesome.
Oh,
pretty awesome.
Name drop.
SOS name drop. Yeah. Straight Outta Sunjin. We're too deep. But we have legit. A lot of characters. I have a lot of characters. So
cool.
Actually, 3 deep. But
you have what? 3? You have 3 total?
Yeah, we have 3 total people, but one plays on a different server all the time. So
okay,
but so we're always looking to meet new people and go on raids and mythic dungeons. And I'm gonna stop talking about World of Warcraft and we can talk about something else. Have you watched anything lately? If I don't move on, I will continue.
Yes.
So
yes, I get it. I understand.
It's the movie. We're gonna talk about movies.
Movies. Yeah. So I did watch something. We kept talking about it, so I hopped on Vudu, and there was a 2-pack series of Us.
Yes.
And
Get Out. Yes.
Dude. Good movie, bro.
Oh, because you haven't watched Get Out yet.
That's the one I haven't watched. So I already seen Us. Get Out, dude?
Yeah.
Like, I was actually pretty blown away. I mean,
when she's digging in her purse and he's like, "Come on, get the keys," and you're already like kind of worried anyways, and then you're like,
yes,
she's like, "You mean these keys?" And then you're like, "Oh, oh no, run, bro, get out.
I know. And he's like, yeah, I can't give these to you, right, babe?
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah, right,
oh,
right,
here
right.
we go. No. I was like literally like thrown back. The conversation that she had on the phone. Remember when his friend called? And he's talking, and then she's just the straightest face I've ever seen, and just very monotone the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
So,
I have one complaint about the entire thing, and maybe I missed it. Maybe that's what happened. Okay. So can I just ask you a question about it?
Yes.
Just to see if you know the answer. Okay.
I hope I do. But we'll have to.
All right, so
we'll have to ask Jordan Peele if I don't, and I don't have
for sure.
numbers,
Absolutely,
so.
yeah. Yeah, and the next party, next year.
Next party,
we'll
get his number. All right.
Yeah. So how was he not in the last trans that he got into? What happened? Like, okay, so she did the stir, right, and the tea thing. He fell asleep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in his trance. All of a sudden, the sun comes in to come get him, and all of a sudden, somehow, some way, he's not in the trance at that moment. Like, how did, out of all this other time, is everybody else stuck in this trance, and then how did he get out of that trance so quickly? That was my only thing.
Was there something? Was there? I don't honestly remember. So, okay. I'll have to rewatch it. Was there something in the sunken place? Because that's what it's called. It's called the sunken place when he's put in the chair and she puts him in, and he's watching the TV or whatever. But was there something within the sunken place that he was able to grip on or something like that?
See, I don't remember. The only thing I can remember, like right before it happened, remember he was in that chair and he was like doing this so much in the chair, to where like those things started coming up.
Yes.
Well, do you remember he acted weird about it?
Yeah.
He like acted weird with that fur that came out. Okay. He like touched it, smelled it, did something with it. I don't remember exactly what he did. And then that's when all of a sudden the TV came back on. He was like, no, boom, and then he fell back into it. Right. And that's when you go into the room where the dad's doing what he's doing.
The operation.
Try not to give, you know what I mean? But yeah, so like, you know what I mean? The operation, and then the son's coming in to bring him to the operation room, right? So like everything's happening. So like when that's going on, like all of a sudden somehow he was just like out of the trance. Now the movie was phenomenal. I'm not complaining about it whatsoever. But I just thought maybe I missed something. That's all I thought. You know what I mean? So I'm not complaining about it. I just thought like there's just something I missed that made him come out of the trance that he was in. Like that's the only thing. I don't know what it could be, but
we'll have to table it. I'm gonna watch it, and then we'll rediscuss because I feel like I didn't have that same feeling, and either I overlooked something or maybe I saw. I'll have to rewatch, because
because to me, if they didn't do a reason, then it's not like, I don't get me wrong, it's not gonna take necessarily away from the movie because it's still phenomenal. But you know what I mean, how is he the only one that got through everybody else's trans? Is they're like stuck in it, right? That's the only thing that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think that's why I think something happens in his sunken place because I think. It's Jordan Peele, and that movie was like really like. It feels just like really worked, so I feel like it wouldn't have been an oversight. You know what I mean? Like I feel like things were intentional. So I feel like there should be a reason. I'm gonna have to watch that. So
the next part of it, you know what I mean, like after he comes out and does what he does, was so good. Like I enjoyed that next whole scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the rest of it. Like because you know what I mean. Like now, this whole build up to the truth, and then after the truth, now you have the final thing, right? So it was cool. I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I never went back and actually, because how Voodoo works too, which I'm not like. And maybe I could just hit a button, like a back button or something, and got out of the screen. But it automatically makes you when it ends. Did you enjoy the movie, right? Like, what's your rating of it? Mm-hmm. Which is fine. But, like, if I wanted to rewind the part that I was at, it didn't let me do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. It's like it automatically, as soon as I hit a button at that,
you just have to go back in and then go to, like, chapters or... Because it gives you the chapters.
Gotcha.
My one complaint with Voodoo, and it's everywhere on the internet, is there is no restart this option.
It's
like
most ridiculous.
It is so dumb that I have to click into there, go to the chapters, hit chapter 1, and then it start. Like, it's super annoying.
Yeah.
But awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that because Get Out, man. I really enjoyed that movie. I thought that was like so creative, so fun, something I've never seen before. Layered, deep,
like
awesome.
Deeper than I, dude. I mean, awesome.
Absolutely, for being like a horror movie, it definitely like had like these levels. But an interesting thing was, gosh, I'm gonna have to look up her name. I know her name, but I don't want to. It's like out. Hold on, I'll just look it up.
Yeah. So can I also? I have a theory. Is her brother, like, is her brother being followed by somebody else? Like, her brother confused me too. That's the only thing that like confused me with it.
Because I know
the mom controls him. I know that happens, right? So I know that is how like.
Well, yeah.
Remember at the dinner table when he's like getting ready to he's like getting ready to wrestle him, and the mom steps in and just, you know what I mean? He's like, I wasn't gonna hurt him,
right?
So I thought maybe that was like somebody else that she did something with, but
I think like he is almost like. Because he's got a lot of aggression, and I think he's like almost like, all right, he does not approve of what is actually happening, but he's in it, and it's his family, so he'll do whatever kind of a thing. Because he drinks a lot too, which makes him act erratic and weird, and like you know, like this dude's like aggressive, like he's got that face. That attitude where you're like, oh God, this guy's antagonizing. This guy's gonna be aggressive, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't remember him like, you know, being followed or anything like that.
Well, I'm not saying follow, but like, do you know how like what they do in the movie? Like, you know how they change whatever it is to like be part of him and part of somebody else, right? You know what I mean? So like all of that, right? So they're taking out that neurological or, you know, whatever they're putting into the other person, okay? Yeah. So with that, I didn't know if like he was actually doing the same thing for somebody else. Like, I didn't know if that was really her brother, if that was just some other guy that acted like her brother. And I just thought it was, the whole thing was weird because he was just a weird person from the very beginning. Like, if you're trying to make this thing hide and look like a real family, then why are you acting like that so fast? You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. But maybe that's just who they are. Maybe, but
I think that's just who they are. To be honest, I think it kind of goes like if you didn't watch Ready or Not, right?
I did not. No.
All right. Well, Adam Brody, his character is very similar to, in my point of view, is very similar to her brother, just because he drinks, he knows that this is the way of the family. And it has to be done or whatever, right? So he's probably like just lashing out because what else can he do? I don't know. I'm just that's kind of like my point of view was like, you know, he's conflicted, and the way he deals with it is he drinks and gets aggressive and you know, that kind of thing.
I got you.
Almost like. Maybe it's almost like a savior thing. Like if he beats him up, he's no longer good to them or something. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe that's like I said. It just seemed super.
It just seemed super weird to me. And maybe I was just trying to overthink the entire thing. I just thought that he was a weird character to me. The way they brought him in, the way he acted, he wasn't like really prevalent in a lot of other things throughout the entire thing. And then all of a sudden, like he just wasn't like a big character. But they made him have that one big scene at the dinner table. To be as weird as he's going to be, you know what I mean? He's got his other scenes, I'm not saying that, but they're not nowhere near as big.
Yeah, but. I think he... Like I said, my point of view, I feel like it would explain him being in the family like that. Anyway, I feel like he fit in. I didn't have any problem with him.
Well, I don't have a problem with him. I just felt like it was just kind of a weird thing. That's all it was. That's all I mean. That's why I didn't know. Once I found out the end of the movie... It's real. It's everything like that. And then my mind went back to the very beginning of everything and started like rethinking things, right? And then I think that's where my mind may have ran amok, as they say, you know?
Yeah, no, I gotcha. No, I think he's now the sister, Allison Williams. What I was going to tell you about Allison Williams is they chose her to be the daughter, like and the girlfriend to Daniel or Chris Washington, because she looks innocent. She looks very like an innocent person, and she's she was in Girls, and she was like I think I've never watched the show. I've watched it a few times, but I don't remember. But I think her character was like a good person in Girls. So like everybody knows her as like a good person. Like you wouldn't think this person would be malicious. So it works even better because your mind wouldn't even go that route, because you're like, oh, she's probably shocked by this too, and then you're like, oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, once he bent down and saw the photo. Yeah, once he saw those photos in the thing, I'm like, oh no. No, you know what I mean? Then it made sense. Every person that was in that entire thing,
now
was part of her exes. You know,
there's a guy in that movie, Lakeith Stanfield. He's popping up everywhere. He is awesome. He's the guy who has the nosebleed and says, "Get out, get out." You know. When tries to take a picture of him.
Yeah.
Now he's in Donald Glover's TV show Atlanta. And he was in Uncut Gems.
I was actually gonna watch. That was one I was gonna watch. Dude, it was so long.
We will discuss Uncut. Oh, but it is so good, dude. When you finish it, you're gonna be like, "That was quick." Uncut Gems. Okay. Oh, dude, it is like edge of your seat thriller, like, uncomfortable. Adam Sandler knocked it out of the park, dude. Like, he was so good. Actually, everybody in the movie was so good. Even Kevin Garnett, you know, because he just played himself.
Yeah.
But Lakeith Stanfield, this dude is gonna be like an Academy Award winning guy. Like this dude's got range. I'm excited to see him in more stuff. But yeah, he was really good in Uncut Gems too. But he was in Get Out, and it was like one of the first things I've ever saw him in. He said if they ever recast Joker to hit him up, you know, he said he would do a really good Joker. Like, dude, that would be a really cool twist. Well, cool. Get Out and then you've seen Us, so you've seen the double whammy of
double whammy. Peele. So finally did it. You know what I mean? The two that that were on my list. I mean, that's what I was looking at there. I marked one off. You know,
it's almost
other one just sitting
Christmas time, and you're talking about horror movies still. That's so last month.
I'm always fast and relate to everything, okay? So it just makes sense that when I did it. I don't know why, just all of a sudden recently I got more into these. I was watching a lot of horror films then. I just think it carried over. I think that's what it did. You know what I mean?
Well, then like you watch so many and then you're like, I just need a break. We had watched a few and it was just like, all right, I'm good. Like we watched Rosemary's Baby this year, so I'm like, I'm good. You know, I checked that one off the list. So
yeah, was it good?
Yeah, it was good. And then I saw a commercial, and it had nothing to do with anything that you know. It was just like almost like the premise of Rosemary's Baby. It was kind of wild. It was like this commercial where this older couple gives this guy like a chocolate, and then he takes that to his house and gives it to his wife. And I'm like, you know, it's very Rosemary's Baby. If you watch the movie, you'd understand just because it's an older couple. And anyways, well, I watched something.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what'd you watch?
I gotta give props to my dad. He's been yelling at me to watch this for a while. He said he's watched it like 4 or 5 times now. So Jessica and I said, you know what? Let's watch it. It's 2 great actors, Matt Damon and Christian Bale. So we watched Ford vs. Ferrari. And that was a really good movie. It was actually like really exciting and fun, and the acting was great. And I really enjoyed the chemistry between Damon and Bale. Like, they're fun. Total
Wow,
opposites,
okay.
like on the screen,
Yeah.
I mean, their characters are total opposites on the screen, but
Oh, okay.
it was awesome. It was awesome. Like they had
No,
like
actually, you know what?
total
That might have
opposites,
been
but they
you.
had like the shared love. You know, Matt Damon plays
Yeah.
Shelby, and
Ford guy.
he himself isn't a Ford guy. He's a Shelby Motors USA, bruh. But he did do the Shelby Mustang, yeah. He designed it. He designed it along with other people.
You got it.
But you watch that movie and you're like, Ford, screw you, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some pretty nasty things, and I'm not.
See, I mean, because growing up, man, I mean, my dad's owned 5 or 6 different Mustangs.
Yeah.
You know, I have, quite a bit of photos of Mustangs in my life. That was like one of my favorite, because it was my dad's favorite car.
Oh yeah,
you know?
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, now I have my own. You
have
know,
a
it's not a
Mustang?
Ford, but no. I
You have your
wish.
very own Mustang? I've never seen it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's tied up to a tree outside.
It's like
Got him.
you in a junkyard. There's like 10 of them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's funny.
Ford versus Ferrari. It was
Okay.
it was
All right.
really cool. They talked about this guy Ken Miles. Yeah, Ken Miles, and he really was like the tester of this vehicle. So that there's the Le Mans, and it's a 24-hour race. Each lap is about 3.5 miles, and it goes for 24 hours. So I think you have like a couple different drivers.
Yeah, I think it's three. Is it 3 drivers? I think you can switch to. I think it's 3 different ones or something like that. But
I'm not sure, but
yeah,
the whole thing was like Ford wanted to buy Ferrari. Ferrari used that to up their price to somebody else, and Fiat actually bought Ferrari, and Ford got mad. So Ford decided, well, we're going to enter the Le Mans with a race car, and we're going to be the first American car to win in Le Mans. And
so that's where the Shelby Mustang came from.
yep,
Got it. Okay.
it was awesome. You know, I mean, like I really like old cars. Like I like old muscle and race cars and all that early stuff. That stuff is a lot of fun. Just because I mean, everything was super experimental. You know, you think about it now, everything has their industry standard. Oh, it's a V6, it's a V8, and then back then they're still developing new engines and new ways to do things in different sizes and outputs and all these different things. So like the sky was the limit back then, you know what I mean? So it was just really cool to see them like, and then Ken Miles is this guy who's driving this car for hours at a time telling you, all right, there's too much drag. There's too much of this. There's too much of that. I'm not going to try to sound like a car guy right now, but there's wheels. There's a steering wheel. I'm doing pretty well. But anyways, but yeah, they like Ford did that Ken Miles guy wrong a couple of times.
Oh.
And it was Ken, and I mean, according to this movie, I don't know the 100% true history of it, but Ken and Shelby were like the creators of that car that helped them win that Le Mans. So it's
Okay.
and they still screwed him over because they said he wasn't a Ford man. He wouldn't be a guy who drove behind a Ford. And he was so it's kind of
building
they were shady, and that's why it was a really cool story, and it was cool that Ford beat Ferrari. That was really cool. But don't like what they did. Screw you, Ford.
Got it. All right. I'll watch it. I'll add it to the watch list.
It was really good, and it was just a lot of fun to watch Bale and Damon. I feel like they just had a lot of fun.
Is that on my Voodoo?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I can find it on there. Sweet.
Ford versus Ferrari. Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was good. I really enjoyed it. Other than that, we played Sackboy. So.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So it's funny. Okay, something new just came out to Netflix. Something else I watched, and this is the show. It's probably I don't know if you're interested in any of this, but have you ever watched Survivor?
No, I've never watched Survivor.
Okay, stupidest. So old episodes, old seasons, but I was a Survivor fan for a little while.
Like 30 seasons of Survivor.
It's insane.
Like that? Yeah.
Sorry. So, but on Netflix they dropped 2 seasons, right? I think 2 of the best ones. Okay.
Oh, like
so
new or
no, like old ones,
okay.
like season 28 and season 20. Actually, those are the 2 that are on there. So I watched season 28. That for some reason, instead of playing season 20 first, it plays season 28 first. Which I thought was weird, but it really doesn't matter. Yeah. I can watch season 30 and then season 1 doesn't change.
Right? Yeah, they're all new games or whatever.
Besides the players, right? Yeah. So I'm going through and looking at this, it makes me start thinking of Lost. It's the beach, man. Every time I watch the beach on TV, my mind instantaneously goes to Lost. I can't help it. You know what I mean? It kind of ruins other things for me. But anyways, right?
You turn that off, turn Lost on.
Yeah,
way better Survivor.
It's about that time of year, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, I got a time for a quick few episodes.
So I started watching it. Okay, I watched the first season. This was I watched actually the first season, the season 28, not the first season, but probably last week.
Okay.
Well, then I turned in season 1. I started watching season 1 to this morning. I watched an episode, and I'm sitting there, and as I'm getting into this Lost thing again, because now it's a new season, so it's a different beach. Now this beach looks a little more similar to the Lost one at one scene, right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. Then all of a sudden, I started thinking about it. There's a certain guy named Boston Rob on there. Okay.
Boston Rob. Okay.
Okay, and then there's a certain gentleman called Coach. Boston Rob is like the leader, but doesn't want to be the leader, with dark hair, just like Jack Shepherd, right? Oh wait, and then you have the outcast calling himself the Dragon Slayers, and his name is Coach, as Tom Sawyer. The guy, I'm telling you, the guy with the little blonde hair, you know what I mean? The girl, the one girl and him, instantaneously they start, they like right away start hitting it off, right? Like they called it up the first night, but then the next morning, Boston Rob gives her a clamshell, says, "Just touch my clamshell," right? So I'm like, wait, who is this in this? Who is this in the scene now, right?
What are you watching, man? Is this animated? What is this?
No. Well, yeah, no, it's literally he finds a clamshell in the thing. So it's like, because when they cut it up that night before, because there's no building. You go to our first war, like the first challenge, and then you make your way back to the beach. So you haven't had time to build a fort whatsoever at all. So everybody essentially just lays out on the beach. Well, it's kind of cold. You have no blankets.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get things right away. So it's just you're just out there.
That's rough.
So then they just have hoodies on, right? So they all have hoodies on. So they cut it up. So it wasn't nothing big. Well, then the next morning, Rob went out fishing, did something, and somehow he found this clam. So he comes up to her, in the whole thing, it says, "Oh, do you want to touch my clam?" It's a real clam, in this big, a sweet one. That looks cool. But it reminded me of Kate. She's a skinny girl with a long curly hair. And I'm like, what is going on? Like a Sawyer hitting on her. You got Jack hitting on her. It's just so funny, dude.
They purposely found a cast lookalike. So sure. We're having Survivor Lost Edition.
Yep. And then, okay, so my last one. Now, this one's a little far-fetched, but as I'm already in this thought process as watching the first episode, there's an old guy on there. Not super old. So that's where it's a little bit different. But he's the outcast and then constantly wants to kind of, backstab and sneak his way in from the outside of everything, right? He's the one that does the
Locke status there.
Little John Locke, you know what I mean? I'm like, what is going on, man? He's hunting for there's chicken in this one. So he's one out there hunting for the chicken so they can have dinner that night. It's just so funny. Except going boar hunting. It's so funny, man. Yeah, sorry, but I just thought that that's a show that So I'm like, man, this is just. But once again, though, it's making me get back into my Lost thing, man.
Lost. I need a poster of that. I wonder if they have any really cool like 6 seasons worthy, one poster, 6 seasons worthy of stuff.
That maybe. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I've got I got that Lost Encyclopedia. I got that special collector's edition Lost Blu-ray set. I'm set. I hope they never reboot that that sucker, but
Seriously,
it probably will.
it's like yeah. I really, 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 really hope not. But
Yeah. Well, now I do have a movie recommendation.
okay,
Yay. Kevin's movie recommendation of the week. So, last week we were talking a lot about space and traveling to Mars and all this kind of stuff. And, we didn't even bring up this movie called The Martian, which, talking about Matt Damon today.
that was a good movie.
Yeah, The Martian. That's an excellent movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. But I just realized Matt Damon is also in my all-time favorite space movie, Interstellar. He's kind of a bad guy, though. Dr. Mann. I think it's Dr. Mann. But yeah, Matt Damon, not good. Tried to kill Matthew McConaughey. Don't do that, man.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not gonna wind up going your way. I'll tell you that right now.
Never does.
Life can't kill Matthew McConaughey. But anyways, The Martian. It's directed by Ridley Scott. I'll read a little synopsis here. An astronaut becomes stranded on Mars after his team assume him dead, and must rely on his ingenuity to find a way to signal to Earth that he is alive. I mean, think about that. That's about a 6-month trip from Earth to Mars, and you're stranded on Mars. So not only is the ship leaving, if it were to come back, you still got 6 months. So 6 months to shoot around Earth, 6 months come back to Mars. So, or slingshot across. I mean, it's amazing. What they could do with like the gravitational pull and orbits and blah 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 blah. Scientists, engineers, wow. Or in the terms of Borat, wow wee wow.
Yeah.
Wow wee wow.
Wow wee wow.
But The Martian, it's an incredibly fun film, and also like I just feel like brutally honest about like, all right, hey, yeah, you put people on Mars, but hey, what happens when something goes wrong?
Yeah.
Are we prepared to, do we have enough within the mission to help? But hey, really good movie, so I say watch it. If you've watched it or you are going to watch it, tell me what your thoughts are. Say, hey,
yes,
Kevin, great recommendation. I didn't watch it before, and then you said I should. Now that I've watched it, I feel enlightened.
Good for you. You know, that's the yes, I get it. And then just so you know, everybody else agrees with you too. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 91%. 94% of Google users that's actually rated this thing is given a 94% positivity. IMDb an 8 out of 10. I mean,
have you ever wanted to watch Matt Damon eat potatoes? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
watch him.
You get to eat him. Watch a lot of potatoes. That's fun.
A lot of potatoes. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. I don't even care.
So.
I don't even remember what the movie's about. I know he ate potatoes, and I was.
I think he's on like a different planet or something.
Yeah, he's
but he ate a lot of potatoes.
Venus.
Yeah, high sodium diet is what he was on.
It's like something red. Yeah, but great movie and really well done, and I felt like it was cool. It was really cool. Also, like one of my all-time favorite space movies, besides Interstellar. Obviously Interstellar is just like don't even go near it. Don't try. Like, you might be a great movie, but don't be stupid. All right, you're not climbing that ladder. Anyways, Gravity. Gravity is so good. That is a really, really good movie. I love that one. Sandra Bullock and
okay,
Clooney.
yes, yep.
I loved it. I thought it was so cool. The anxiety I get watching that movie, like it's you can equate it to you're out in the middle of the ocean, and you could just potentially keep on floating, and there's no end in sight. Obviously, space is a little different because there's at least no surface to breathe on. Like
yes, that's true.
You can at least be like breathing on top of the ocean water, where shouldn't try to breathe in space.
No,
just don't do it. It's not good. I'm no astronaut, but pretty sure that's why they wear suits.
Yes.
Watch there's YouTube videos about the SpaceX suits. They're pretty cool.
Are they?
Yeah, they're really cool.
I'm like super interested because I wanted to. It'd be sweet to wear. Like, if I could find I mean, you know what I mean. It'd be really sweet to like. Obviously not during Corona time, but if I can go put one on a full suit.
yeah.
Well, people told me that they've done it before, like the Science Center and stuff.
Put on a SpaceX suit.
Yeah, we'll put on. Well, I don't know about a SpaceX suit, but like a space suit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, not space. I mean,
like,
SpaceX
wow,
suit,
like,
but a little bit different.
That's really trusting. All right.
Yeah. No, but like just like an astronaut suit, is what I should say. You know what I mean? Just like it'd be super cool. I don't know why. I just think it's super cool. Yeah.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Also,
dun, dun, dun.
One last cool information. There's a really cool
I'm ready.
Video from NASA that shows like the 2024 Project Artemis, where we're going to go back to the moon, but it's like more than that, right? So there's basically going to be like a second, it's almost like another International Space Station, and this thing is going to orbit the moon instead of Earth, and which is a different orbit, which is actually a really like elongated, cool orbit. But anyways, that thing is going to orbit around the moon constantly, and say you want to go to the moon, right? So you shoot off from Earth, and then you dock onto this this spaceship that's going around the moon, and then you take a ship from that device to the moon. And then once you're done, you shoot back up into the device, and then you shoot out. So it's really cool. It's like a staging area, you know what I mean? Anybody who's going to the surface, head onto this rocket. You're going to go to the surface if you're staying here, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it's really cool. And, it's really a cool idea, too, because it's about a 3-day journey from Earth to the moon. And so if you figured out how to blast off from the moon and space travel, you could potentially be saving yourself a lot in fuel, a lot in time, because you're already shooting off maybe 3 days, but at least a closer place, Yeah. You're like at least shooting off from the moon instead of the Earth. But yeah, crazy stuff. Project Artemis, NASA. It's really cool. Really, really, really cool.
Gotcha.
Largest rockets ever built.
All right. Artemis. That's easy to remember, too.
Yeah, Artemis. Yeah. Great name.
Bleached. Bleached parts of my body,
Hey, he's going to find out anyways. That's awesome.
That's funny. So.
Yeah.
But, all right. So, my fact of the week. Okay.
Fact of the week.
All right. So, this is a double-parter, kind of. So, I was just kind of, once again, looking. And so, it came up to me, and it just blew my mind. So, I was looking it up, and it says, do you know how many letters the largest word in the world is? In any language, anything like that. Do you know how many letters it is?
How many?
189,819. It says it takes 3.5 hours to pronounce this word, okay? Well, that's what blew my mind. So, like, once I seen that, I'm like, wait a minute. So, I did a little bit more research. I did this. And, like, okay. So, it's in... All right. So, you can't really see it. But, like, this whole thing here...
I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah. So, this whole thing here... You can't... Okay, sorry. But it's this huge word... And then what it ends up coming down to, though, is it's a protein that they just broke the word down as Titan. So you go from 189,819 to a giant protein called Titan. So I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So that's this huge word. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Let me find a real word of what's the longest word in the in the English language, right? Let me do that.
Yeah, right.
An actual word, and that
it's
one.
Smile, because there's a mile between the two S's.
Oh man, you're so funny, dude. You know,
there's a mile in smile.
Yeah. All right. So I can't pronounce this word either, just so you know. But the longest English word is 45 letters.
Wow, what?
Isn't that insane?
Supercalifragil. I don't know.
Nope. So it's Femana. Anyways, it's a long one.
I like that.
It's got like volcanoconosis.
Well,
a lot of stuff going in there.
What you should do is at least write it down or type it out, and we'll put it in the details of the.
Thank you.
Of the
I'm saying I just can't pronounce it.
People can know what it is.
Perfect. Will do. So, but I thought that was crazy. When I saw
that's a long word, man.
It's a long word in the English language. You know what I mean? And the other one, when I saw the 189,000, I had to do my research, so I just had to get it out there.
I
know, and it really came across the entire thing, though. You know what I mean? Like, it really, you know what I mean? Like, I searched for it, and it's like, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, the biggest word on multiple websites. I'm like, wait a minute.
People had celebrations. They shot fireworks off for it.
For 3.5 hours.
Yeah. They welcomed that word with open arms, man.
I mean, I could play it from like the YouTube webpage, you know, and like just have it play through that. I mean, it only take. Come on, I mean, it's only, you know, we have time.
You do that on your own time. It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. Come on, man.
Nope. I got better things to do.
No, I get it. Yes, I get it.
You like fall asleep listening to that?
Yeah. Yeah. Not very fun. So.
Awesome.
That's it, man. That's all I got.
That's very cool, man. I did not know that. That's really cool. I hope to retain that, and I hope to spew that information to somebody else.
Yeah, one day. You never know. They're like, Kevin, what's the longest word in the world? And I'm like, boom.
Somewhere.
Do you want world or do you want English language? Yeah. Or do you want the English language?
Or do you want the English language like what? 48? Did you say 48?
45.
45.
Yeah. It's all right.
I remember now. 48.
Yep. Yeah. I think. Wait a minute. What is he going to look it up?
All right. So. Well, I think that does it then, right?
Yes. I think that's what we got for the week.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.
And have one great week.
See you next week.